ladies, how y'all doing? Welcome to Mocha's Ladies Lounge, my secondary channel, content specifically for the ladies. Of course, guys, y'all are welcome to stop by if you would like, but nevertheless, this is my second channel, which is different from Mocha's Cafe de Paris. Mocha's Cafe de Paris is more of my co-ed channel for men and women, and I felt it was imperative that I did a separate channel specifically for women, because I just feel like there's different topics and different issues that we can relate to as women. And I know that sometimes guys get bored, listening to women talk about womanly issues and topics all of the time. And sometimes women just need a space in which they feel comfortable, because the majority of the followers are women. So I get it. Sometimes I have to have our own space. So nevertheless, welcome to Mocha's Ladies Lounge, y'all. So I know it's been a while, but y'all know I'm trying to stay on it for you ladies. I'm really trying to, keep up with the channel a little bit more. But nevertheless, y'all, I felt it was imperative that we talked about this, because if it's not you, I'm sure you probably have a girlfriend that's in this situation. Hell, some of y'all may even have a mama, an auntie, a sister. We all know that one particular female, that has reached a new level of desperation. So now she's just pretty much settling. She's taking what she can get. And it's different factors that will cause a woman to get to a place in which desperation starts to set in. And basically, she's just willing to accept whatever will accept her, because either she's older now, so as we age, ladies, gravity starts to take control. So does Mother Nature. We put on weight. We don't take a lot of time necessarily in taking care of ourselves, so we put on excessive weight. Or if not, some of us are overeating from stress, from childhood trauma, different things that affect how we eat, what causes us to overeat. Also, some of us have worn a lot of makeup, things that have caused our skin to break out. When you're young, you're putting all this heavy stuff, heavy foundation and stuff on your face that has caused your skin to break out. And not only that, as you get older, you've gone through a lot. If you've been in relationships with guys, by the time you really gain the experience and the knowledge you need to really know what to accept and what not to accept from a man, unfortunately, so many of us ran through or been through so much with men, to the point to where now that you have the knowledge and the wisdom, unfortunately, the men are not gravitating towards you as much compared to when you was young and dumb and you didn't know no better, you didn't have the experience. You was getting all type of attention, you was getting all type of dudes, all type of men checking for you. But now that you older and things in your life has changed, physically and emotionally and mentally, you're not getting that same amount of attention. So that's like somebody who's been broke, and when you was when you was broke and you didn't have anything, you had all type of people putting you down, not interested in you. But now that you got the money and you well off, you still not getting that attention that you got when you was broke. So nevertheless, when desperation sets in, women would rather be needed than desired. Meaning now, at this point in your life, especially like I said, when you have been through excessive relationships, let's say you got multiple baby daddies, let's say if you're on marriage number 2, 3, or marriage number 7, all of these things now, all of these things that have taken place makes you feel as if your options are limited, especially as you get older. When you start pushing them 40s, let's just be 100, keep it a buck. Women in their 20s going to attract more attention than women in their 40s and 50s. It is what it is, because a lot of these older guys, they rather check for younger women. And the guys that are your age, some of them are married, or some of them just want to be a bachelor. They enjoy being a bachelor, not having to be responsible for a woman, or if they they have to divorce a woman, they lose everything, half of what they don't work hard for. A lot of men do not want to take that gamble and get married for that reason, having to give half or practically everything to the woman in an event things don't work out. So you got a lot of men now that they rather just be a bachelor. And if so, that is definitely their personal choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I'd rather a man be a bachelor than to marry multiple times, just making women miserable. I know a man who's on his 5th marriage, loves to get married, but will not stay nobody's husband. So, that's not, if anything, that's worse. When you're a man who constantly gets married, but you don't take marriage serious, you don't know how to be a husband. No more than a woman who wants to keep getting married but don't want to be nobody's wife. Can't cook, clean, or do jack shit, but she wants to have the luxury of being a wife and a man take care of her. And some women get lucky and are trifling as hell, and it's always that one simple, desperate brother that will marry them, wife them up regardless. So, anyhow, if you look at my thumb, I found this meme off of, Facebook. And I thought it was pretty funny, and that's why I'm doing my content towards this. The meme has, the thumb has a meme of 2 different pictures. And in both pictures, you can see both women are standing in front of their men, getting ready to pay for something. Getting ready to purchase, pay for something for him and for her. Now, as you notice, the guys that are standing behind them, hugging up on them, acting all affectionate with them, it just has to do with the fact that, they found a woman that was desperate enough, willing to accept them at low value status. And they were fortunate to find women who accept them for who they truly are, that's willing to pay for everything, that's willing to front everything, and basically be the providers, and you have, especially Pookies of all value. And when I say Pookies are not just black men. Pookies could be white men. You can have a Paul Pookie, okay? You're not just a Patrick Pookie. You can have a Paul Pookie, okay? You can have a below average Brad, all right? You can have, a bottom of the barrel, Brad. You know what I mean? So, Pookies come in all assorted flavors. Okay, there's this misconception that it's only black men that are broke, who don't have anything, that are Pookies. But you have your bottom shelf Brads, you have your poverty Felipes, you got broke Mexican men, broke Indian men, broke white men, broke Puerto Rican men. It does not matter. A man who lacks ambition, a man who doesn't really want to be a man, who doesn't take pride and honor in taking care of his woman and taking care of his family. You have some of these below the barrel builder bums that they have no shame, they have no integrity. They're not embarrassed that a woman wants to take care of them and provide for them. It doesn't make them feel insignificant. It doesn't make them feel less than a man. You have some men, sorry, I'm saying men. You have these Pookies that actually wear they wear the badge of being a Pookie as an honor. They're not embarrassed. They're not ashamed of it. And anytime a woman has reached a broken place in her life because she feels like she's too old now to be picky and choosy, or it's not just old women, okay? Because I know a lot of this red pill raging content basically wants to focus on women 40 and over who have hit the wall and whatnot. But truth be told is, you have young women that's not even barely in their 30s and have already hit the wall. My thing is, if you are under 30 and you are already on your 3rd, 4th baby daddy, you've hit the wall as far as I'm concerned. Compared to a woman that's in her 40s who probably don't have no kids, or probably just got her 1 kid, or had all her 3 kids from her 1 ex-husband or whatever. So it's this misconception that hitting the wall, you automatically got to be 40 and up. You know what I mean? I'm 42. God bless my soul. I make it to 43 November 7th, and I've never smoked weed. Okay, I've never had multiple dudes run a train on me. You get what I'm saying? So there's this misconception: if you're 42, you done been ran. If you're over 40, you done been ran through. You done been dragged. Dudes done. Use your vagina. You know what I'm saying? As an Amtrak train, as an Amtrak railroad. You know what I mean? Everybody's been running trains on it. So it's this misconception. And let me tell you something. Desperation can hit a woman at any given point, whether if it's her age, or the fact that she's broken, just came out of a very toxic relationship, or you have some women that are so bogged down and burdened with responsibilities, excessive children she has to take care of, all the bills all on her. And it's gotten to a point now when women used to have standards. Women, the standards are slowly but surely, they're dropping like Walmart rollback prices. The standards are declining, because what is going on is a lot of women have put themselves in a position in which now they really can't be choosy. They played a lot of games with different guys, kept using guys, or not willing to fight for her marriage or fight for her relationship. So she's been, jumping relationships like hopscotch, so eventually it all catches up with you. Basically, bad choices catch up with you. When you choose the wrong man, or you give up so easily on a good man, now you out here trying to find someone to replace that relationship, instead of having pride, putting your pride aside, and if the opportunity is still there, and it's still open to say, I messed up. I realized you were a good guy. I should have tried to work the relationship out. I should have been more patient with you. You have some women, they would rather be miserable and get with another pookie and be miserable than to be honest and say, I could have been a little bit more adultish about it. I should have been more of a woman about it, and talk to you and communicated with you, or whatever the case is. So, different factors cause a woman to reach a place of desperation. And what happens is, when a woman has had excessive relationships, she's been with every Tom, Dick, Daryl, and Jaquan or whatever, and she is so used to having a male companion in her life, and she has reached a place in which she's desiring the presence of a man, desiring to be desired by a man. What tends to happen is she will latch on to any man that will show her attention, even if it means she's the one who has to initiate and put herself all the way out there to get it. In other words, she's willing to accept a man that's willing to accept her, even though she's the one that's doing the majority of the work, even though she's the one that's contributing, putting more herself out there by paying for everything. She's the one who has the house, the shelter. She allows him to move in with her, even though he doesn't have a place of his own, and event things don't work out. You know what I mean? She does not mind being a provider, as long as she can have the presence of a man. And this is what's going on with a lot of these females. That's why we all know a friend, we all know a sister, we all know that one, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. I'm gonna just say that, woman that's desperate. A 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. We all know a 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓱𝓪. You know what I mean? That will take a man in her house, move him in, not even know him for a month, and she's already moving him in, with her kids, or just in her home without kids. Either way, it's dangerous, but it's even more riskier when you got children, grandchildren. So she's moving in a man in her house, not really knowing much about him. Not only that, she's sponsoring him. She's basically providing, buying his clothes. If she's not buying them, she's giving him access to everything she done paid for, like her car. He's allowed to drive her car. Not only does she allow him to have access to all of her things, and she does everything for him, she does not basically initiate for him to do his part. In other words, she'll let him drive her car while she's working, burn the gas out, and she won't even make him put the gas back. Or she moves him in her apartment and she doesn't even give him a bill. you take care of the light bill, the water bill, or this, that, the car note. She basically doesn't give him no responsibilities because she's reached a state of desperation of which she feels like if she enforces or demands or requires too much, that she's not going to get a man. She's not going to get a man to be interested in her. And that's how you know when desperation has set in, when a woman is afraid to ask a man to do basic duties that a man is supposed to do. I listen, I have had, God bless my soul, I had a girlfriend of mine, okay, who met a poverty pookie. I knew he was a poverty pookie. He lived in a homeless shelter, okay? So, basically, he knew she was a single mother, and he preyed on that. You know, one thing about the poverty pookies, they know how to prey on desperate women or vulnerable women. She had kids, single mom, you know, so he knew how to warm her up and get her comfortable. You know, he was being very sweet to her kids, being very nice to her. And, you know, a lot of single mothers, they the quickest to get tricked and bamboozled because all the guy has to do is act like he's into her kids. And because she's so deprived of having a baby daddy around, helping with the kids, any little interest or fake love that a man shows towards her children, she's going to gravitate towards it because, again, she wants this American dream of having a man in her household to be a father to her children. And nothing is wrong with that, but it's a way that you do it. And you can't be doing it because you're desperate or you too lazy to take care of your kids by yourself or whatever, you know what I mean? So sometimes when you do things maliciously, it comes back to kind of bite you. So anyway, you know, she within a couple of weeks of time, it wasn't long, she moved him in, you know, her apartment. And, you know, he could only fake the funk for but so long. You know, the evil twin in him came out, you know, because really he didn't get with her because he wanted a family. He wanted to be rescued. Just like you got these saver hoes that men have to deal with, you know, women who want to be saved because they don't want to be independent. They want a simple investor that's going to pay their bills and stuff. They don't want to goddamn work for it. You got women that are desperate who also end up, you know, being, you know, build a bum sponsors. They pick up a bum and end up having to sponsor his clothes, pay for his clothes, pay for his things and stuff like that. And that's what ended up happening. You know, she brought him in her house, you know, saved him, you know, save a bum, you know, she saved him from having to live out in the streets and whatnot. Moved him in her place, got her sons acquainted with him, and over time, his true color started peeling away like an onion. You started really seeing him for what he was because the truth was, you have these men who only want to use the woman. But when the woman starts looking for them to step up because you're looking at, and righteously so, if you move a man in your household, you let them use your car, you help them to get a job, you do look for something in return. It's an even exchange, you know what I'm saying? But what happens is the Pookie starts getting frustrated because he felt like he just made it up in his mind. He felt like he had you so stigmatized that you would take him in your home and he could just keep making dick deposits and you would not require anything. But the moment you start requiring stuff, that's when you start getting an attitude. He starts getting nasty. He starts showing his true colors because his whole motive was to be with you so he can use you, not to be a helpmate or a partner or a companion. So now that you are making these demands, which in most cases where women mess up, if you're going to do that, which I don't recommend, you know, saving a Pookie, but if you're going to partake in Pookie sponsorship, you're going to sponsor Pookie, you need to let her know off the muscle. If I take this chance and help you out, look, within a month or two, you're going to have to look for a job. But in all honesty, or whatever, and you don't need to take a chance and bring him into your domain unless he has shown he will produce and can produce. But the trick to that is some of them do just enough to get in, and once they done got in, now they start, you know, slacking off. You know what I mean? Pookie starts slacking off. So anyway, you have some women who get to that point, they realize no matter how desperate they are, like, I need this man to help me pay the bills. Yes, he's fine, he has good dick and all of this, but I am behind on my water. I am behind on my lights. I got stuff going on. And yes, he looks good on the passenger side of my ride, but it's like I got another child. I got to feed him, wash his clothes, and I already got kids of my own. So I basically adopted another son. And when you get to that realization and you start waking up on Pookie start tripping. Or you get some women who just not ever going to demand, ever going to require, because they feel like the moment they require or start demanding that the Pookie step up and do his part, that he's going to leave. And in most cases, he is. You got to be careful how you allow someone to come into your life. You allow them to come in your life for nothing. You stand a chance of them, getting comfortable with that. They don't ever think they got to step their game up and return the favor. Or in some instances, you do have some that to step up and return the favor, but now they done getting biggity. They getting cocky. That happened to a girlfriend of mine. She picked up a man from nothing, you know what I'm saying, and put him on. And yes, he started helping her with the bills. Yes, he did his part and stuff, but he started thinking he was bigger than her. He started smelling himself. He got beside himself, so you take a chance. It's better for if you meet a man that he has his own place, he has his own car, he has his own everything. So if y'all do decide to be together, it's because y'all really want to be together, not because one of y'all is so desperate and down and out and don't have a car and just need the help. A lot of times you got some women looking for a soulmate when these guys are just looking for a helpmate. You got some men that are just that sorry. They want a woman who has her own stuff because he's not man enough to get his own car. He's not man enough to get his own car. He's not, his own apartment. He don't, he rather get it the easy way. Find a woman that's dickspert enough, not desperate, dickspert enough, dickspert enough, to take him in knowing he ain't got shit. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, the woman who does not want to demand is because she's reached a place of desperation. And she feels like if she starts pressuring him and asking him to step up and telling him, I need help with the bills and stuff, he's likely to lash out or he's likely to leave. And guess what? If that's the case, that's a chance you got to take. But when a woman is desperate, she has reached that place in which she don't feel like it's necessary to request him or require him to do his part as a man. So what she does instead is she just falls back and she takes the role of being a man. You'll be surprised how many women are with the man and have learned to take the role of being the man. You have some women right now that are sitting in their apartment and knowing they got their lights about to get turned off, knowing their car is in 2 months of behind payments. They know they are in a lot of debt, but they don't want to lose their Pookie. Some women have become so desperate where a man not doing nothing, it doesn't even bother them anymore. They just want the presence of a man. It's gotten just that bad. Desperation has reached such an all-time high in which some of these low self-esteem women, they are content with him just being around. And basically, these are the women that have suffered a lot of abandonment issues. If she had her father walk out of life, or every relationship she's been in, a man has left her, or whatever, she's very fretful of abandonment. So she's not going to require or enforce much of anything because she does not want to lose her pet Pookie. She does not want to lose him. Because one thing about pet Pookie is very, very consistent. He's always around. Literally, because he ain't got no goddamn job. He ain't got no job. So he's going to always be around. He's going to always keep her company. And what has happened, desperation has set in to the point to where a woman, these women today, these low self-esteem, broken women today, as long as he's coming home, even if it's not coming from work, as long as he's there, even if he's laying on a sofa wearing out the sofa cushions, watching Netflix and chilling all day, ain't even empty the trash, ain't even wash the clothes, but she's just glad knowing there's a man at home. She's glad just knowing that she's not alone, not realizing that, guess what, ladies, you can be with a man and still feel alone. Because when it boils down to it, you are alone when it comes to those bills. You are alone when it comes to making it happen. Because you done made the pretty boy pet Pookie feel comfortable and complacent, not doing anything to help you as a man. So you have a lot of these, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 that are so glad that they finally have a male counterpart attention. Even if he's giving her attention just to use her, she's glad to be getting any type of attention. You got some women, any attention is better than no attention at all. Even if it's a attention for him, he's only giving her attention just so he can use her or benefit from her. She's okay with that. Long as he's around. Like, I remember my grandmother used to tell me, God bless her soul, my grandmother used to say, you got some women that's so desperate, they just want a warm body in their bed at night. They just want to hear a man snore. You'll be surprised how many women walking around here holding hands, acting like they so happy, living their best life with their pet Pookie, but behind closed doors, they are suffering. Because this man will not contribute. He won't put gas in the car. He won't empty the trash. He won't even bring her lunch to her job, knowing she the only one working. He'll drive a car around all day and burn the gas out. Just straight dead weight. Just another adoptive child. And she does not mind, she doesn't mind the burden because she rather the burden than to be alone. But eventually it catches up with you. You let a grown person live under your roof and they don't contribute or pay their way, it eventually gonna take a toll. If it's just you and your kids, it's different. But when you bring in a whole nother adult that's not contributing, you got to realize that adult, they eating too. They eat like your kids. They using up the toilet tissue to wipe their ass like your kids. A full-grown adult costs us. You got to pick them up, drop them off sometimes, or either they burning out your gas. Having another adult grown man in your house that's not contributing is basically like taking in a foster child. Not even a foster child, because a foster child, at least the state will give you some type of income for it, but you basically bringing in another child. And you have, again, when a woman allows desperation to set in, she'll deal. I remember, back to the story about my girlfriend. The point I meant to address was, she hated asking him for stuff. Because you got to remember, the pet Pookie really thought he had it going on. Because when you pick up the pet Pookie without a job, without a car, he's already in a struggle. You take him in your household, you've already given him this sense of entitlement, okay? So, now that when you ask him for something, he's snapping, getting an attitude, or, you've been taking care of these bills before I got here. Why I got the help? Why I got to contribute? Why I got to look out? You been taking care of the stuff. You been paying the bills before I got together. The Pookie is a narcissist. And he's a straight up user because he will find a way to twist out of not having to contribute. Making you feel bad. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't even be burning the lights like that. That'd be you and your kids burning lights. That'd be little JJ. He'll never turn his lights off after 7 o'clock when you tell him to. Maybe even tell the kids to start turning their lights off. The light bill wouldn't be so high. Or maybe if you only let the kids wash once a week, your water bill, he will blame everything on everyone else instead of him saying, I need to be a man and get a goddamn job so I can help out. So you ain't feeling all the stress and all the burden. He ain't gonna say that. Because again, the pet Pookie is sorry as hell. And he will try to make you feel guilty. He'll try to make you feel guilty for asking him to do anything. He'll flip it. He'll deflect. Get in his feelings. He'll just twist the whole thing and try to make you feel bad for even asking him. You already knew what I was. You knew what it was. This is what I'm saying, you know what I mean? You knew when you met me, I was already in the struggle, you know what I mean? I told you in the initial beginning, I ain't even lie to you, shorty. I told you I was struggling, nigga was struggling. I was down on my luck. You know, I told you eventually I was going to look for a job. I've been out here trying to look for some work, man. Ain't nobody even hiring right now, man. People holding my past against me. You know what I'm saying? I know I got a criminal record from here to Yugoslavia. But I'm saying, though, it ain't my fault that the white man want to hold the black man down. I mean, you act like I ain't appreciate what you been doing for me, Ma. You act like I ain't appreciate it. I mean, you did look out for a nigga and you brought me a nice shirt and some pants from Walmart for the job interview, but I ain't know the man wasn't gonna hire me. The man gonna sit up here and ask me some fuck shit questions, talk about if I saw somebody stealing on the job, would I report it? And I said, hell no, I ain't no snitch. I ain't reporting motherfucking thing. Man look at me like I said something wrong. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it 100. I ain't snitching on shit. Whatever somebody do, that's them. I'm just here to get a paycheck, man. Is you gonna hire a nigga or what? And he had the audacity to sit up there and tell me, well, sir, I don't think you fit for the job. See, that's why I don't want to get a goddamn job. You sit up here and be honest. How the man gonna sit up here and tell me he wants my honesty, and then when I tell him if I see a nigga stealing something on the job, I ain't saying shit. I'm keeping it a buck. What I'm saying. What the fuck? I mean, this some bullshit, man. That's why I ain't even want to go and get a job. But for you, cause you kept stressing nigga out, I went to go look for a job. And these niggas up here asking me questions that ain't got nothing to do with the job I'm trying to apply for. I'm trying to apply as a stock boy. He gonna ask me about if I saw somebody stealing something, if I'm a reporter. Shit, I don't work in no goddamn surveillance. I ain't no damn security. Why the hell I'm a snitch on another co-worker when I'm just I'm just applying to be a stock boy. I'm just supposed to stalk. Not stalk no goddamn body and see if they stealing shit to report it. This what I'm saying, Ma. You don't know how hard it is being a black man in America. The white man always trying to hold a nigga down. You don't appreciate the fact, you know what I'm saying, that I'm trying to be a better man for you. I be at home so I can accept your Amazon packages so nobody won't steal your shit. But no, do I get a thank you? See, that's what I'm saying, y'all. That's how this is the mindset of the Pookie. He gonna flip and make it seem like you wrong. You ain't right for making him be a man, requiring him to be a man. Who are you to make me be a man? I wasn't a man when I met you, and now you trying to require it now that you feeling the burden, you feeling the funk. Desperation sets in. A woman will allow anything. She will accept anything. Because it is no longer requiring. She's no longer requiring anything. She just wants him to be around. And guess what? The Pookie does not mind fulfilling the deed of just being around. Anytime you call, he's there at your house, answering the phone, sitting on your sofa. While you working 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts. And in the worst case scenario, a lot of these different women, they trust Pookie babysitting their kids for multiple hours at a time. These are stories we hear about on the news. A woman left her child with Pookie, and Pookie got mad because the child wouldn't go to sleep. Because again, Pookie's moving with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 because they need help. They don't want to contribute help. At the moment you start demanding or requesting for a Pookie to help out, to keep your kids, he gets angry. He takes it out on your children. A lot of women don't understand, and like I said, we've seen, we've heard stories about this all the time on YouTube, all the time on the news. Women leaving their children, with a Pookie for hours out the day while she's at work because she's too cheap to pay for child care. Or she feels like the other baby daddies ain't stepping up, so she rather leave her children with a Pookie that's a stranger to them. Just because Pookie put up this front like he didn't mind being an ideal stepdaddy, which that was only a false advertisement for him to get in good with you. But now that he's there and he sees that you're making him be obligated to it, these are the same men who will take it out on your children, because you're trying to make them be something that they really had no good intentions in being. Let me tell you something. Some of these Pookies, they will pretend they like your kids and can't even stand kids. Have no patience with kids. These are the type of guys you see on the news that have physically assaulted or sexually assaulted somebody's child. And the mother's on the news pouring down in tears, crying down a bucket of tears. Like she don't understand why he would kill her child, why he would hurt her child, why he would injure her child. She can't fathom it because she thinking because a child is a child, he's not capable of doing something to a child. But if you're trying to enforce the Pookie to be a man and make him keep your kids, how you know he even like your children? Why? Because he pretending he does? Because, he bought them a box of pizza or something like that? That was just to get in good with you. He ain't had no real intentions. He don't want to be no full-time stepdaddy. If your kids are, and kids are kids. Kids are going to be annoying. Kids are going to be, aggravating at times. They're going to be a little mouthy and stuff like that. And if he does not like children, he'll take all his aggression out on that child. Now understand that the child is being a child. That's one thing I've learned also as a criminal justice student, that most children that are harmed or killed are by men that are not biologically their fathers. So, this is the chance that the desperate woman is willing to take. There's a penis famine. There's a penis famine. What's starting to happen is the guys who know they are worth something, they're not giving out penis as much as they used to, because they realize the stakes is too high between the child support. Now that they done ruled out the goddamn a woman can't get abortion, men are being wiser. They're having more dick discretion. Like, hell nah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially those, if they're already paying child support and got 2-3 baby mamas, they ain't trying to get a 4th or a 5th. So but the Pookie does not matter how much baggage he has. He'll still create multiple children, multiple babies. He will still live off a woman, knowing that it's hard out here, knowing rent has skyrocketed. He has no remorse. He has no empathy. But again, as a woman, once you let desperation reach in and take over your life, you just so badly want somebody. Or maybe it's that ex that you're trying to prove a point to who has moved on. And you just mean you're not going to be alone. He done moved on, so you're going to move on too. I mean, this is something a lot of women don't want to be honest about. A lot of women are paying the price, jumping into these microwave relationships, all because you want to prove a point, or because you don't want to be lonely, or because you need somebody to help you with your kids. And it ends up costing you triple in the end, being desperate, being thirsty, being dick dumb. And again, this is for all women. This is not just a black woman issue. I've seen women of all colors be desperate, take a man in, give him the world, give him everything, only for, you know, for the Pookie or the bottom shelf Brad or Poverty Felipe or whatever, to become another burden, add more of, they become like an extra bill. The Pookie becomes an extra bill. Because, again, he's not contributing. And it's like having a bank account. If you keep taking money, taking money out the account, and you never put money back, guess what? You're going to have insufficient funds. That's the same way the Pookie does. And as a woman, if you're that desperate and you sit down and lie to yourself just because you want to keep him around and you feel like, well, I can handle it, I make enough money. Even if you make enough money, even if you're well off, I don't care if you got millions sitting in the bank, why would you want a man to get comfortable with just being a zero? He has to do something. And if he's a real man, he wouldn't put himself in a position to be comfortable with you having to take care of him, because no real man wants to be beholden to another woman who can get mad with him and say, well, you can get out my house. You can take your stuff and go. Let me tell y'all something. Another thing about these Pookies. When you desperate ladies, when you finally want to get rid of them, some of these Pookies, they'll try to kill you. Or they'll do something real messed up. They'll hurt one of your children. It happened to a woman many years ago. I covered a story on it. It's somewhere in my archives. I might try to dig it up, but I'm sure it's very, very old. I'm going to have a hard time finding it. But I know it's still in my archives. A woman who was becoming a bookseller, talking about domestic violence and stuff. She finally reached a good place in her life. She got rid of, you know, the poverty Pookie, started getting on her feet, and he was angry that he could no longer use her, that she put him out her house. He had no more access to take advantage of her and use her. So what he did was he killed her. He got mad because she no longer wanted to take care of him and support him. You get some Pookie, a scorned Pookie is worse than a scorned woman. A scorned Pookie, because you don't want to pay his bills no more and buy him shoes anymore and none of that, you know. He's worse than a bitter woman. Pookie will burn your house down, hurt your kids, kill you, kill your mama, kill your daddy. So, you know, this is a chance you take, ladies, when you let desperation set in. You so badly want a man, you don't mind paying for everything. You don't mind not making him look for a job, not making him contribute. You want him around just that bad. You willing not to place any stipulations, enforce anything, or require him to be a man. You're afraid if you do so, he's going to leave because you're making him be something that a man is supposed to be, which is responsible. So you rather stay and suffer in silence and just deal with the BS, just so you have a Pookie sitting on the passenger side of your ride. You have a lot of women that are doing this. And that's basically because desperation has set in. Once desperation sits in, a woman feels like she done got too old. She can't go out there no more and start all over. Or she got too many kids. Feeling like, well, ain't nobody going to deal with me and all my baby daddies. Or she feels unattractive. So, you know, the Pookie Bandit, he knows what type of women to prey on. A Pookie Bandit can spot a weak, vulnerable woman with low self-esteem right away. Pookie, put it this way, Pookie is sorry, but he ain't dumb. Pookie is trifling, but he's smart. The Pookie is not going to, deal with a woman that's going to require or hold any standards or have higher requirements. Pookie's not going there. So, nevertheless, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this. Ladies, do you feel like when a woman reaches a certain place in her life where she's getting older, or she's lonely, she could have a medical condition, something that has taken place in her life in which she feels very vulnerable, so she's like, I don't want to go through this alone, I don't want to deal alone. Maybe you are that woman, or you might know, maybe once upon a time you were that woman. What gave you the strength and the courage to get out of that situation? Or what was your last straw when you just knew, if I don't get rid of this bum, he's going to cost me not only money, but a peace of mind. So, if you feel like being comfortable enough to share it with us, please let me know. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to talk to y'all later, ladies. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Also for the guys who've been listening in, appreciate y'all for just stopping by, showing love to my all women's content. So, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. But nevertheless, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Remember, Christmas is coming up. If you want to order tumblers, this is the time to do so before I get too booked. Also, I am still selling cable, y'all. 9,000 channels for only $20 a month. I used to do $25, but I done brought my cable package down to $20 a month. You do need a Fire Stick. If you don't have one, I can order one and install an app for you. But if you already have an Amazon stick, I can give you the information to my app. Once you install it, I will make you an account and I'll start your cable services right away. A lot of y'all paying way too much for cable. Dish Network, Comcast, it's highway robbery. All you need is 30 megabytes per second or higher for good streaming. So if you live in the country or the boondocks and the internet is pitiful, you're not going to be happy. You got to invest in good internet in order to get good quality streaming cable. All right. Also, I sell hair oils for women who are struggling with their hair follicles, and I also sell beard oil for men. So anyway, hit me up about any of those things: tumbler, cable, hair oil, or beard oil. So anyway, y'all, appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to hit that like button before you leave. It's free. I'm trying to get my algorithms up, y'all. So please make sure you hit the like button. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. So y'all be blessed and y'all have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye.